So if you think about driving on the tail of the Dragon, watch this video first. I'm going to explain to you how to drive on the tail of the Dragon. Now, I don't know the specific names at every single turn and corner that all y'all elites and professionals drive on and know by heart, but I can tell you some tail of the Dragon etiquette that will help you drive through the tail of the Dragon safely and still have fun at it. So recently I made a video, or not too long ago, I made a video about the Ferrari 458 that crashed on the tail of the Dragon, and it was a disaster. And I'm going to share with you how to avoid that type of accident. And the sad news that I found out about the Ferrari driver on a quick note is the fact that he just bought the Ferrari 2 weeks before he crashed it. So he only had it 2 weeks and he crashed it, and that's a total lost Ferrari. Now, about driving on the tail of the Dragon. First of all, know your car. So I'm in my Infiniti Q50. If you just watched the video on my YouTube channel about it, I have taken my Infiniti Q50 on the tail of the Dragon, and it handled well. You got to know how your car handles with performance, like acceleration, braking, handling in terms of cornering, and all that, and how much body roll your vehicle has, how much your steering input is, gas input, and brake pedal input. You'll know that when you drive your vehicle and you know it. A lot of people make the mistake of buying something with high horsepower like a Ferrari 458 and expecting it to handle just like they thought it would handle, and it ends up being way too much power and way too much of a beast for them to handle that car. And basically you end up just like that Ferrari driver that I mentioned in my other YouTube videos. So basically you want to know your car. And on the second thing, when you are a car enthusiast starting in cars, I mean, some of you all may have inherited a very nice, fancy, fast car, but what I recommend y'all to do is to simply buy something like a Mazda Miata or equivalent and take that around the tail of the Dragon first, or a similar road. Don't jump into a high horsepower car right away and expect to know how to drive it. Start small and move your way up. And another thing you should consider doing is don't drive on the tail of the Dragon right away. Maybe there are some local roads around your area that you live that have some twisty turns for you to practice, or a local track to go through, even though that may cost you money. But also what you may consider is I'll give you a road, for example, for you to try on. The speed limits are higher, and there is not as much cop activity. Yes, there is more cop activity than the tail of the Dragon, but there isn't as much cop activity. There is, however, a high tourist activity on that road more than the tail of the Dragon. So be careful and take extreme caution when driving through there, because the speed limits vary from 25 to 45 miles an hour. But the scenes are beautiful, and it has some tight corners or semi-tight corners for you to drive on and have experience with your vehicle before taking it on the tail of the Dragon. That is, my friends, is Foothills Parkway in Tennessee. I did a little photo shoot there with me and my brother, and me and my Q50, and him and his Camaro. I highly recommend you watch that video. It's a pretty cool day down there. But I recommend you taking that road simply for the fact that it's where you can practice on. Now, don't go crazy and pushing 100 plus miles an hour on it, because you can definitely do that on Foothills Parkway. It's capable of it. Is it illegal? Yes, it's highly legal, but it's also highly dangerous, because Foothills Parkway has areas where it's nothing but a bridge on a cliff. So if you can't control your car in Foothills Parkway, which you should be pretty easy to control your car in Foothills Parkway, you'll end up dying on the side of the mountain because you flew out of a corner. Now, after you got all that, you're ready to go on the tail of the Dragon. What I recommend y'all to do is, before going into tail of the Dragon, is meet up, or even if you're by yourself, go to the Dragon store, okay? Go to the tail of the Dragon store. Buy yourself some stickers. I highly recommend you to sticker your car, at least one sticker that you survived the tail of the Dragon, as soon as you finish the tail of the Dragon. But what I recommend doing is, when you're at the Dragon, that's the store Dragon, first of all, yes, take a restroom break, because there isn't private pull-off areas on the tail of the Dragon for you to do your business. But also what you got to do is ask the locals. Ask if there's any wrecks up ahead, and ask if there's any police activity. yes, you got to ask all these questions so that you're prepared what you're going to be coming into. I asked a certain person, hey, where the cops are at? He's like, I seen this cop, this here and there. So basically, ask the locals what's going on the Dragon today, and they can give you out a few pointers. Locals are always helpful. And also what I could recommend is get some kind of handheld CB radio or a satellite phone for emergencies, because throughout the whole stretch, there's absolutely no internet service whatsoever. Now, I did not invest in all that, but I am recommending my audience to invest all that in that, because if something happens on the tail of the Dragon, it's best that you have that on emergency. Now, also, when you are on the tail of the Dragon, don't push your car immediately. First of all, remember, you got to know how your car handles, but also, what kind of brake fluid does your car have? Does your car have a DOT4 brake fluid or a DOT3 brake fluid? Because my Infiniti Q50, even the Red Sports, I read it up, even the Red Sport Infiniti Q50s and Q60s come with DOT3 brake fluid instead of DOT4. So what that means is you're going to go into what's called brake fade. Not because your brakes are bad, it's because your brake fluid is overheating and boiling over, because it's not designed to for that kind of braking that you're pushing your car to its limits to. So if you don't have DOT4 brake fluid, I recommend flushing it and getting DOT4 brake fluid instead of having your DOT3 brake fluid. So replace your DOT3 brake fluid of DOT4 brake fluid. My Q50 unfortunately doesn't, so if you have no choice but to drive your car aggressively or pushing your car to its limits on DOT3 brake fluid, what I recommend is push it to its limits to the point where you don't have to use much braking. If you watch my video on me in my Q50 on the tail of the Dragon, you can notice that I'm not pushing it as hard as other cars, simply for the fact that I'm trying to see what my car can handle without needing to brake. I'm basically gearing my car down as engine braking to help with going through the tail of the Dragon. So that's what we recommend doing. Also, what I recommend you to do is, if there's traffic in front of you, do not tailgate and do not flash your high beams or headlights at them. But most of the time, people know that there's sporty cars running through their sporty bikes. They will pull when they'll find a safe pull-off area, they'll pull off for you, and you can do whatever you want. Don't honk at them either. That's disrespectful. People are out there to have fun and relax on their vacation. Remember, Tail of the Dragon is not a racetrack. And also, what I recommend doing, slow down and slippery and wet conditions. And also, on the tail of the Dragon, what you got to watch out for is for upcoming wrecks or anybody that may be crossing that mustard, those two solid double yellow lines. That is one rule you do not want to break. Don't ever cross the double yellow lines on the tail of the Dragon, because that is exactly what happened to the Ferrari, and the Ferrari crashed, and that's how he ended up wrecked. Not canceled. Guys, I'm Eddie B. 2004 turn right. This particular package, drive an attempt on the 6 Series.